There's no one like you, my little girl. Your eyes so blue under those brown curls. Soon you're on your way, promise me that you know.
YouTube, and welcome to another video. Now today I've come back to a location that I've shot in the past. I'm going to apologise in advance for this video. It's very windy and it seems to be a common occurrence every time I come to this location, but it is blowing the gimbal around quite a lot, so the video quality is probably not going to be that great in this video. I've got the external mic on, so it should get rid of most of the wind, but I've had to put it around the jacket or under the jacket just to shelter it a bit more, so the audio is probably going to be a bit muffled in this one, so apologies in advance. There you go. Now I've come back to Bedruthen Steps. It's a place I have shot at twice in the past, and I've been to this viewpoint once already, a couple of months ago, for a slightly different shot involving the sea thrift and some nice colours around sunset. Now the thrift is all dead now. There are kind of traces of it on the coast here still, but it's all kind of faded and gone white and bleached and dead looking. The reason I wanted to come back here, because it was a shame when I was here doing that video that it was around high tide. I wanted to get back to the location at low tide really, because I wanted to pick up some of these nice patterns in the water, the difference between the sand and the sea, and obviously the white waves and the kind of white horses, as they say. It's very windy today, so we are getting lots of nice chop in that water, and it's making a really nice scene. Unfortunately, it is far too windy to get any long exposures of that water. So the shots from here are going to be quite rough. They're going to be quite a lot of detail and roughness in the sea. Not sure how well they are going to stitch together, because I am doing some panoramic images as well, and I'm coming across a few problems when I'm shooting here, mainly the composition. I really like the main kind of little islands up here, which apparently are stepping stones for the legend that is Bedruthen the giant that used to walk across them. But there's also some stones down here which will pan you down, which look really nice, but they're kind of competing with these ones here. And also there's a big rock here, and I can't get a composition that lines up these stones here with the main ones that looks nice. I kind of need to be further across to the left, which I can't do because I will be off the edge of the cliff then. But still, I'm trying to get something that works. I did have the camera a lot higher earlier, and I have done some images already, some panoramic images. I mean, shooting with the Lee 0.9 soft grad on there just to bring the skies down slightly, and I've also been using a polarizer to just cut out that reflection on the sand and the sea, and just to bring out the skies a bit better. Now, although it is midday, it's a really nice day for shooting this is, because we have lots of clouds in the sky, lots of big white fluffy clouds, and they're going to act as a big light box, a big diffuser, and they're going to make sure that the whole scene is really well evenly lit with no harsh shadows. And that's what we're getting in the moment. We're getting a really nice scene, a bit dark on the cliff this side, but nothing that a bit of post can't fix, and we are getting some nice patterns looking up here across the sea. So what I'm going to do now is, I've already done these shots I was saying earlier with the 0.9 soft grad and a polarizer, and I was doing quite fast shots to get rid of all the camera shake that was happening, so around about 250th of a second, an ISO of 200. And what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be taking the 16 to 35mm lens off. I'm going to be getting the 70 to 200 on, which I don't shoot with much, to be honest. And the reason is, in about half an hour's time, this sea here should be creeping up and touching the edge of the rocks. And I want to get some nice long shots, around about 70 to 100 mil, maybe a bit more, just looking down those waves, trying to get some cool patterns and some cool shots. I'll put up the ones I've done earlier already when I was here. Hopefully you'll enjoy those. And then I'll get on with shooting some from that 70 to 200, see what images we can get. I'm gonna have to keep the camera quite low on those shots to get rid of all the camera shake in it. Hopefully get some nice, interesting shots, and I'll catch up with you a bit later when we've got them in the bag. Got that 70 to 200 on in the end, and I wasn't that happy with it, to be honest. I don't shoot with it a lot. It's an absolutely amazing lens for, I think, mountains and places like that, and places where you have a lot of separation. But it does lack contrast, unfortunately. It's a very sharp lens. It's a brilliant overall zoom lens, but I just don't really feel it when you're at a location like this and you're in an awe of colour, reflection, something you need a lot of contrast, or a good lens to cut through the contrast and really make the colours pop. I just didn't really feel it with that lens. It wasn't really making anything jump out at me. You'll probably see the difference between the photos in them. And I will keep the editing to a minimum colour wise, so you can actually see the difference that the lenses make. It is a zoom lens. All zoom lenses generally suffer from some kind of loss of contrast. It's a normal thing with zoom lenses, but it does show how good the 16 to 35mm lens is, that when you put it on, it just makes everything pop and look really nice. Now I've got the 24 to 105, the old faithful, back on, and I'm trying to get a composition with it, but again, I'm not really feeling it. I'm having to come quite low to get away from the wind, and although I like the images earlier with the 16 to 35, with me standing quite high and kind of sheltering the camera and doing fast shots, I don't think it's going to be beneficial me doing that with the 24 to 105, simply because I've already got some nice wide shots, and the shots that I'm looking to try and get with this now are a bit more telly. And with telly shots I can get away with shooting lower down, so it's not really causing an issue. That's not really the problem. The problem is more just due to getting stuff in the scene. So I basically have, as I probably alluded to earlier, if I can get this thing to stay stable, a couple of sets of rocks down here. I have the kind of ones in the middle here, which I do quite like. It's quite a nice shape. I have one right down here, and then also I have the main kind of islands and the rocks, or the stepping stones, going across the headland. They're all unfortunately on more telly shots starting to compete with each other too much, and just not really looking that great on the back of the camera. So I'm struggling to get the lowest rock closest to me in the image without having a lot of the cliff. And the cliff, like I said earlier, is not very nice to photograph now. There's a lot of dead flowers on it. All the kind of colours gone from the nice sea thrift we had down here. And it's just one of those things. I can't really get just the middle one and the further away one in the scene, because if I try and do that, I then have one around here sticking out, and I get a bit of this coast here as well, or the cliff. So I'm not really feeling any of these shots that I'm trying to get at the moment. The only one I think that might turn out okay is one that involves this rock, a bit of the headland, this, I'll get you back, hang on. This one in the middle, and you have to take my word for it because it's going to blow around, and one a bit further down. So it's just one of those things really. I can't really get, hang on, we'll go back to handheld without the gimbal. I can't really get an amazing composition. Now I have found something, like I say, that will work with kind of the further away rocks in the top left of the frame and the closer ones in the bottom right. I'm not feeling it. I don't think it's that great, but please let me know in the comments whether you think it's worked or not. Hope you've enjoyed the images from this video. Sorry it has been a bit of a sporadic one with not much technical details, and it's pretty much just been a mash of video and images. It's been very difficult to video it, to be honest. It's very windy, everything's blowing around. From this point onwards, I am potentially going to be in Cornwall for another night, so I might have 2 more locations coming up. I've got to try and work out where I'm going to go for those. Thanks for watching this one. Sorry again for the audio and the video quality. I'll see you on the next one coming up, hopefully with a bit more better quality. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.